80 years after Britain celebrated its first peacetime Christmas following the end of the Second World War, we hear the memories of some of those who were there. So today marks 80 years since Britain celebrated its first peacetime Christmas after 6 years of war. For many families, it was a day of joy. For others, it was a day marked by an empty chair at the dinner table. Our reporter, Jane McCubbin, has been to speak to three remarkable veterans about their memories of those celebrations.
This was Victory Christmas 1945. After 6 long years of war, rations were still in place. Toys were donated by America and Australia to children in the UK, and it would be another 2 years before all troops returned home. But still stationed overseas, they bought presents for family back home. And finally, this was a Christmas of peace on earth, goodwill to all men. That first Victory Christmas would be marked by joy for some, longing for others, and for Cynthia, a fateful decision which she had no idea was about to change the course of her life.
Where's you? Where's you?
But I'm there.
With the cheekbones.
Cynthia had helped the vital work of the Bletchley Park codebreakers during the war. And when war ended, she volunteered to go overseas with the RAF so that someone else might return home. For Cynthia, Victory Christmas was spent in Egypt.
We were invited to the Salvation Army headquarters that they had in Cairo. They put on a lovely meal, lovely spread, sandwiches and cakes and jellies. Trifles, and we also had what they call a lucky dip. There was a big beer barrel full of sawdust with presents in there, and you had to put your hand in.
How were you all feeling? Because you were still so far from home.
Yeah, well, we made the best of it.
That decision which took her far from home that Christmas was life-changing, because on the ship that finally brought her back to Britain, she met Gerard, the man who would be the love of her life.
So that's fate, really, that you met your husband?
Absolute fate. Absolute fate.
How long were you married?
62 and a half years.
My goodness.
Yeah.
John Dennett's eyes are no longer strong enough to read the love letters he sent to his sweetheart during the war, but Joyce kept every single one of them. In late 1945, John was hoping and praying to be demobbed for Christmas, but days before Christmas Eve he was sent papers to join a minesweeper in the North Sea. This is one of the very many letters he'd sent home.
My darling Joyce, thank you for your lovely letter containing your photo. And all the signs are telling me how lucky I am for having such a nice girl. Without a word of a lie, Joyce, I never thought I would fall in love with a girl like I have in you. Tonight I'm going to celebrate with one of my mates who I won't see for some time to come. Today has been the coldest day, and my knees have been knocking and my teeth have been chattering all day. What I want, my love, is for you to keep me warm. Well, darling, I will close now, thinking always of you. All my love, dearest, your loving sweetheart, Johnny. And I think there must be 16 kisses there.
Doing well that night, weren't we?
The next time John wrote, he addressed it to his future wife and signed it from her future husband, with even more kisses.
We must have made our minds up, mustn't we?
The sweethearts were wed when John finally came home. But unable to have children, Joyce suggested John start a football club. Today, he lives overlooking the Asheville Football Club fields where thousands of children have and still play to this very day. Joyce died in 1992, but Asheville FC Christmas parties are still legendary.
You might have missed that first Christmas together, but you had very many more.
But I had plenty of good time to make up for that. Wouldn't have it any other way. Wouldn't have it any way. I'm so lucky. I am so lucky.
And luck was very much with Jim Gettings during the war. His sweetheart was Joan, and just before Christmas 1944, Joan had made a suggestion.
I met Joan
at the library when we worked there. I thought she was such a sweet little girl.
You were in the Royal Marines, but you took your orders from Joan.
Well, she was 3 years older than me. She said, if you can get leave at Christmas, we'll get wed.
Jim begged for a week's leave, and wed they were. By Victory Christmas, Jim's new bride was pregnant, and while he had 2 days leave, he had not a penny to his name. He bunked on a train and hoped for the best.
I said, look, I'm on leave, legally on leave, I've showed him my pass, but I said, I'm skint. I've no money. What can we do? I said, it's Christmas. I got to get home for Christmas. He looked around and nobody around. I said, go clear off. I think I had a few coppers from me bus.
Today Jim has 3 children, 8 grandchildren, 17 great-grandchildren. He is 100 years old. John is 101. Cynthia is 100. Victory Christmas was more than an end to war. It was the fragile beginning of lives rebuilt, of love rediscovered, of futures imagined. And for those who lived it, its memory shines like a light in the darkest winter. Jane McCubbin, BBC News.
And our thanks, of course, to Jim, John and Cynthia for sharing their memories.